Have you ever wondered why some people remain calm amidst life's fiercest storms while others collapse under the slightest pressure? We spend our lives chasing peace in money, fame, love, or fleeting words of comfort. But if all of these can vanish overnight, does that peace truly exist? Stoicism offers a quiet yet profound truth. Peace does not lie out there. It is something nurtured deep within. Today's journey will reveal 8 simple yet powerful principles from the Stoic philosophy, practical tools to master your emotions, build discipline, and develop unwavering inner strength in the face of uncertainty. Get ready, because this path is not for those seeking comfort. It's for those who are determined to grow stronger every single day. Embrace reality as it is. Imagine waking up one morning only to be greeted by bad news. A project fails. A dear friend walks away without a word. A golden opportunity slips through your fingers. In that instant, helplessness takes over. Why me? The question echoes in your mind like a broken record. But here's the truth. It has happened. You can't undo it. The only thing you can control now is how you respond. Stoicism teaches that peace comes not from changing the world, but from changing your reaction to it. Accepting reality is not weakness or surrender. On the contrary, it is strength. A deliberate choice to shift your energy from what you cannot change to what you can. As Epictetus once said, do not seek for things to happen the way you want them to. Rather, wish that what happens, happens the way it happens. Then you will be happy. Picture yourself driving on a long road when suddenly a heavy storm rolls in. You could curse, get angry, and blame the weather for ruining your plans. But will that change anything? The rain will keep falling. Or you could turn on some music, watch the raindrops glide across the windshield, and calmly adjust your plans. The difference between a miserable day and a peaceful one lies not in the rain, but in how you choose to respond to it. So, how do you apply this mindset in real life? It sounds simple in theory, but staying calm in tough times is much harder than it seems. Here are 3 steps that can help. Step 1. Recognize your resistance. When frustration or anger creeps in, pause and ask, can I change this? If the answer is no, then any negative emotion is wasted energy. Take a delayed flight, for example. Getting upset won't make the plane leave sooner, but you could read, reflect, or rest instead. Step 2. Shift your perspective from resistance to adaptation. Rather than thinking this shouldn't have happened, ask yourself, how can I make the best of this? See every obstacle as mental training. If a project fails, don't drown in disappointment. Ask what you can learn. As Marcus Aurelius said, what stands in the way becomes the way. Step 3. Manage your emotions proactively. Accepting reality is not enough. You need to reshape how you feel about it. A powerful Stoic technique is negative visualization. Before bed or in the morning, picture potential challenges, a tough workday, a tense meeting, or family troubles. Instead of fearing them, mentally prepare to face them with composure. When the real difficulties arrive, you won't be shocked. You'll be ready. Acceptance is not defeat, it is wisdom. Instead of banging on a wall, look for the door. Instead of drowning in resentment, learn to adapt and rise. Those who master this do not waste energy fighting reality. They live with purpose, bending like bamboo in the storm, flexible yet unbreakable. And once you've learned to embrace the present, once you've learned to accept the present, a deeper question still lingers. Have you truly let go of the past? Because no matter how beautiful the present may be, if the past still clings to you, your journey toward peace will always remain incomplete. Let go of the past. We cannot change what has already happened. Whether we like it or not, the past is beyond our control. So why do we keep holding on to it? Stoicism does not teach us to ignore the past, but rather to accept it, learn from it, and then release it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote with profound wisdom, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." When we view the past as something that has already ended, we realize that only the present truly matters. But how do we let go? It's not as simple as it sounds, because the past always finds ways to sneak back into our minds. First, acknowledge a simple truth. The past only holds power when you give it power. The mistakes, regrets, and wounds, they are merely fragmented memories. Yet the more you revisit them, the more they become chains binding you to a life that no longer exists. The first step to letting go is accepting this reality. What's done is done. You could blame yourself 1,000 times, but it won't change anything. The important question now isn't what if, but rather, what can I do now to avoid repeating the same mistakes? However, some people don't hold on to the past because they want to. They simply don't know how to live without it. Guilt and regret often become part of our identity. To let go feels terrifying, as if we're giving up a piece of ourselves. Pain, though harmful, can act like a familiar anchor that keeps us stuck. But ask yourself, does clinging to this pain truly honor what was lost? Or does it merely trap you in endless suffering? Letting go does not mean discarding the lessons of the past. It means accepting them as a part of your journey. A practical exercise is to write down what you're still holding on to: a mistake, an old relationship, a haunting failure. Then ask yourself, does this still have any real impact on my life today? Or am I keeping myself imprisoned? Often, just seeing it on paper can help you realize it no longer holds as much power as you thought. Letting go also requires you to shift how you view yourself. If you continue defining yourself by your past mistakes, you will never recognize your potential in the present. Look at a mistake that once caused you deep pain. Now, instead of seeing it as a stain, see it as evidence of your growth. The person you are today is no longer the person you once were. And when you can look in the mirror without shame or regret, that is the moment you have truly let go. However, the most important truth is this: letting go is a process, not a one-time decision. You must choose it again and again every single day. There will be moments when the past tries to pull you back. Old memories resurfacing, regrets whispering softly in your ear. But when that happens, remind yourself, I no longer live in those moments. I am here, in this very moment, and our life still awaits me. If this message resonates with you, let me know that we are not alone in this journey. And don't forget to subscribe, because whenever I discover something new, I want you to be the first to experience it with me. Once you've let go of the past, you will begin to notice something extraordinary. True peace only emerges when you fully embrace the present moment. But in this chaotic, fast-paced world, how do you keep your mind anchored to the here and now? Anchor in the present, your breath. It is perhaps the most powerful anchor you have. Whenever your mind begins to wander, lost in worries or drifting, aimlessly simply return to your breath. When you truly live in the present, it feels as though time itself stands still. Have you ever experienced such moments? A stunning sunset that made you pause in awe, a burst of laughter so pure you forgot everything else, or a moment of deep focus when the world around you seemed to fade away. That is when your mind and the present become one. And in that stillness, worries vanish because they never really existed in that moment to begin with. However, to maintain this state, we must also know when to pause. Think about it. Someone who keeps running endlessly never feels the ground beneath their feet. A mind that is always racing can never see the bigger picture. So, the next step in this journey is not only to live in the present, but to understand when to pause with purpose. Pause with purpose. Many of us mistakenly believe that achieving more means constantly pushing forward, working tirelessly, never stopping. But here lies the greatest paradox of productivity. Sometimes the fastest way to regain deep focus is knowing when to stop. Think back to the times when you were caught in a loop of endless thoughts, or when you pushed yourself too hard, only to feel more exhausted and lost. In those very moments, a brief pause could be the key to restoring your energy, clearing your mind, and regaining clarity. The ancient Romans had a fascinating concept called otium. It wasn't merely about resting. It was a meaningful stillness, a time to reflect, connect with inner wisdom, and prepare for the next step with renewed strength. In today's busy world, we can practice this too. Take just a few minutes daily to reset your mind. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Let your thoughts drift gently. Step away from your screen and gaze out of the window with calm awareness. Or simply put down your pen, loosen your body, and allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. There's an interesting truth. The greatest minds in history understood the power of pausing. Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Every now and then go away, have a little relaxation, for when you come back to your work, your judgment will be sharper." The Stoics too embraced this wisdom. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can you find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in your own soul." Retreat to this inner sanctuary, often. Pausing is not avoidance, it is returning to yourself to refresh and renew. Try this small experiment. Next time you feel stressed or overwhelmed, resist the urge to power through. Instead, pause for just 30 seconds, close your eyes, breathe deeply. Become fully aware of your existence right here, right now. Do you feel the shift? In such a short time, your heart rate may slow, your thoughts may settle, and a gentle calmness may begin to emerge. This isn't magic, it's simply how your brain works. A purposeful pause shifts your nervous system from overstimulation to relaxation, improving focus and decision-making. But how do we make this a habit and not just a fleeting trick? The key is intentionality. Build small pauses into your daily routine. Before starting an important task, take a minute to find your stillness. After finishing something, resist rushing to the next thing. Pause instead. Use a simple mantra like pause, breathe, observe. To remind yourself to return to the now. Over time, you'll realize that stillness doesn't only exist in moments of stopping. It starts to seep into your moments of action too. You'll no longer feel the need to race against time or get caught in meaningless tension. Instead, you'll work with deeper focus, think with greater clarity, and above all, experience an unshakable inner peace. Now we've reached the halfway mark in this journey toward cultivating a calmer, more resilient mind. If you've followed along so far, that means you are truly committed to investing in yourself, and that is deeply meaningful. Affirm this commitment by commenting "Control my mind" below. But remember, a picture is only complete when all its pieces come together. Once you've learned to pause and return to yourself, another realization quietly emerges. It's not enough to simply be still. You must also master what happens inside your mind. Because the thoughts you choose to nurture will ultimately shape your inner world. Master your thoughts. The human mind is like a garden. Without care, weeds, negative thoughts, baseless worries, regrets, and resentment will grow wildly, quickly overshadowing seeds of clarity and peace. We cannot stop every thought from appearing. Like a flowing river, they come and go, but here's the key. You can choose which ones to hold on to and which ones to release. Unfortunately, many people allow negative thoughts to take over. Rejected from a job, instead of accepting the situation, they trap themselves with thoughts like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never succeed." In reality, it's these very thoughts, not the rejection, that imprison them. So, how do we master our thoughts? The first step is awareness. Ask yourself, where do these thoughts come from? Are they helpful or simply automatic reactions from the mind? Most of our worries are just illusions, shadows created by our imagination, not reflections of reality. Picture your mind as a river. Countless thoughts flow through it every moment. You cannot stop the current, but you can choose. Hold on to what it serves you and let the rest drift away. Next comes changing how you relate to negative thoughts. Many people fight against them, but the more they resist, the stronger those thoughts become. The goal is not to suppress, but to observe objectively. When a negative thought arises, ask, does this thought serve me? Is it even true? Is it worth my energy? Don't automatically believe everything your mind presents. Become a strict gatekeeper. Only allow valuable thoughts to stay. A simple but effective method is to write down recurring thoughts. Reading them later allows you to clearly identify which beliefs are irrational, which fears are baseless, how to shift your perspective accordingly. Many assume their thinking patterns are fixed, but in reality, most mental habits can be reshaped. A chronic worrier can learn to think more realistically. A harsh self-critic can cultivate self-compassion. Change doesn't happen overnight. But like training a muscle, the more you practice, the stronger your ability to master your mind becomes. However, one important reminder remains: avoid falling into the trap of over-control. If you obsess too much over every thought, you may end up creating new stress and anxiety. That's why another essential part of mastering the mind is learning when to let go. Not every thought needs analysis. Not every inner battle needs to be fought. Sometimes the best way to master your mind is to let it flow naturally, like a silent observer standing by the river, watching the water pass without trying to control every wave. Detach with grace. Have you ever felt like you were clinging tightly to a rope in the middle of a storm? Your hands bleed, yet fear keeps you from letting go. We hold tightly to things, relationships, jobs, dreams, believing that if we grip hard enough, they won't slip away. But the tighter we hold, the more exhausted and anxious we become. Sadly, we often don't realize that clinging itself is the root of our suffering. Imagine standing on a wooden bridge over a rushing river. Beneath you, leaves, branches, and small stones drift along with the current. If you reach down and try to grasp a passing leaf, you might lose your balance and fall. But if you stay still and simply observe, the water keeps flowing, while your mind remains steady. This is the difference between peaceful acceptance and anxious attachment. Stoicism does not teach us to be indifferent. It teaches us to love wisely, to attach without being shackled, to give fully without fearing loss. When loved ones drift away, opportunities slip by, or life unfolds differently from our hopes. You can feel sorrow, but you don't need to lose yourself in it. You can feel regret without tormenting yourself with endless what-ifs. A peaceful mind is not free of emotion. It is strong enough not to be swept away by what cannot be controlled. Think about the things you cherish: a friend, a dream, a job. Now imagine them as birds in the sky. They come to you bringing joy and connection. But one day, they may fly away. You can love them fully while they're with you. But when they leave, will you be consumed by grief? Or will you smile, knowing you cherish them without needing to hold tight? As Epictetus once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." The less you cling to things outside your control, the less you suffer. When you stop fearing loss, you begin to truly appreciate what you have. When you stop fearing failure, you can give yourself fully to life. Letting go isn't easy. Human nature craves control and certainty. But with practice, you can make progress. Next time you feel restless or anxious about harsh words, a broken relationship, or failed plans, pause and ask yourself, is this within my control? If not, let it drift by like a leaf on the river. If yes, act with all your heart. But do not let the outcome enslave your mind. Over time, you will realize serenity was never out there. It has always been within you. Maybe it's time to learn how to love without clinging, appreciate without possessing, and strive without fearing failure. Because a peaceful mind does not come from having everything. It comes from knowing you. Don't need everything to be happy. Once you've learned to let go of attachment, a profound truth emerges. True happiness doesn't come from having more, but from appreciating what you already have. And this is when gratitude, seemingly simple, becomes a vital key to nurturing a peaceful mind. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude, a word that feels familiar and easy. Yet in reality, it is the secret that shifts the mind from a state of lack to one of abundance. A person may possess countless treasures, but if they fail to recognize their value, those treasures are nothing more than meaningless stones. Conversely, someone with only a modest meal may feel truly rich, simply because they cherish every single bite. Marcus Aurelius once wisely reminded us, "Do not indulge in dreams of what you do not have. Instead, reflect on the blessings you do possess and imagine how much you would long for them if they were gone." We often forget the dreams that have already come true. The things you have today, your home, your family, your health, were once the very things you desperately wished for. But why is gratitude so difficult to practice? Because the human mind is naturally wired to focus on what it doesn't have. It constantly feels restless, seeking and chasing what is just out of reach. Here lies the paradox. Those who have more yet lack gratitude often feel the emptiest, while those who treasure even the smallest blessings are rich, even with little. Some may view gratitude as just a mindset, but in reality, it is a skill that must be trained. Start with something simple. Each morning, instead of rushing into tasks or drowning in stress, ask yourself, what is something I feel grateful for today? It could be a restful sleep, an engaging book, or simply the gift of waking up to another new day. When gratitude becomes a habit, you begin training your brain to find joy in the smallest of moments. And science fully supports this practice. Neuroscientific studies show that regular gratitude activates the release of serotonin and dopamine, the chemicals that promote happiness and relaxation. This isn't just a temporary boost. Over time, gratitude rewires the brain, transforming how you respond to life. Just like exercise strengthens muscles, gratitude builds mental resilience, but gratitude isn't only for the pleasant moments. A true Stoic understands that even hardships can be blessings in disguise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the way." Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Be grateful not only for success, but also for failure, for setbacks, and for pain. Why? Storms may break weak branches, but they also strengthen roots. Failures may hurt, but they offer invaluable lessons to help you rise stronger next time. When you learn to embrace gratitude even in struggles, you stop seeing yourself as a victim. Instead, you become the master of your destiny. Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding everything you love, your home, your loved ones, your health, gone. How much would you wish to turn back time and cherish every little thing? But here's the truth. You still have them today. You just often fail to truly see and appreciate them. This is the ultimate challenge of gratitude. Can you live each day as if you had lost everything, only to be given it back again? As you begin to truly value every moment, something remarkable happens. You start wanting to understand yourself on a deeper level. No longer distracted by external desires, you ask yourself, am I living the life I truly want? What thoughts or beliefs should I change to move forward? This is when you are ready for the final lesson of Stoicism. Self-reflection for growth. Because if gratitude helps you find peace in the present, self-reflection allows you to evolve, to walk forward with strength and purpose. When gratitude brings you back to the present, another door quietly opens. To truly grow, you must not only cherish life, but also dare to look deeply within yourself. And that is where the final lesson begins. Reflection to evolve. Reflect to evolve. Imagine this. No warrior ever enters battle without inspecting their weapons. Life is no different. If we don't regularly examine ourselves, we aren't truly living. We're merely reacting. But reflection isn't just about pointing out mistakes. It's also about recognizing progress, however small. In a world obsessed with shortcomings and failures, being able to see how much you've grown, even just a little, is an act of self-nourishment. An imperfect day doesn't equal failure. If each evening you can look back and see that you were a little kinder, a little more patient, or a little calmer than yesterday, that is success. Great achievements aren't built on sudden leaps. They are crafted through small, steady adjustments over time. Think of an architect building a house. If they never check the blueprint, the structure may slowly become unstable, though no one notices until the collapse happens. The same is true for our minds. Without regular reflection, negative habits, limiting beliefs, and unconscious reactions pile up, building walls that separate us from our highest potential. Reflection is the tool that tears down these walls, so you can rebuild on a stronger, more stable foundation. But how can you make reflection a sustainable habit? Turn it into a sacred ritual, like a craftsman sharpening their blade every night. Spend just 5 minutes before bed to reflect. Write down what you've learned. Most importantly, commit to even the smallest improvement for tomorrow. This simple habit, when maintained over time, can lead to profound transformation. You don't need to become perfect overnight. You only need to make sure that each day you are not the same as yesterday. Reflection is not just a mental exercise, it is a way of life. The more you practice, the less you get trapped in cycles of repeated mistakes, mindless reactions, and unconscious habits. You begin to live with intention, carefully choosing your responses and shaping your path. At the end of each day, the most important question is not, what mistakes did I make, but rather, what did I learn today? If you can answer that meaningfully, then you are already evolving. Now you've discovered 8 simple, yet powerful, Stoic strategies for mastering your mind. These are not distant philosophies or abstract ideas. They are practical tools designed to help you cultivate inner peace amidst life's constant turbulence. Peace of mind isn't something anyone can give you, nor is it a faraway destination. It is a journey you take step by step, every single day. When you learn to master your thoughts, accept what you cannot change, and strengthen your inner resilience, you won't just find tranquility, you'll become the strongest version of yourself. If you found this video helpful, take a moment to hit like. It truly supports me. Share your thoughts below. Which principle resonated with you most? What will you start applying today? And if you know someone searching for inner peace, pass this video along to them. Lastly, make sure to subscribe so you won't miss more profound insights, because this journey to mastering your inner world has only just begun. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.